He leads the UFL in yards per attempt. He has a league best 7-1 touchdown to interception ratio. 4th in the league in passing yards. 2nd in the league in rushing. And he's the quarterback of the last undefeated team in the UFL. And they face St. Louis this Saturday at 3 p.m. on Fox from the Birmingham Stallions. You remember him well as Adrian Martinez, former University of Nebraska and Kansas State quarterback, who joins us on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Adrian, how are things?
Things are good. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
I mean, why not? You're lighting up the league right now. The only thing I was disappointed in before last week, you were leading the league in rushing. Sadly, you got passed this week, but other than that, things seem to be going pretty well statistically for you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I'd rather try and lead the league in passing. I'm okay. I'm okay with being second.
Adrian, I was thinking about it this morning in preparation for the interview, and I wanted to ask you this to begin the conversation. Like, balance the living in the moment and trying to have success there versus long-term goals and obviously trying to put your best foot forward and certainly your best stuff on tape. I wonder what that is like for you and how much that is something that you were thinking about, the present versus the future, and what that could mean for your career.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I said this the other day, and I think it holds true, is that now is not the time for reflection. And I think the same could be true for looking into the future. There's a lot going on right now in this season. We're playing St. Louis, A.J. McCarron, the Battlehawks. We get to play them at home this Saturday, and there's a lot for me to prove. I mean, a lot to still get out there and do in terms of what my own personal goals are, which is to get another opportunity in the NFL. So for me, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. There's a lot happening right now that you need to bring your A game for.
So you obviously would like this to be that bridge to another opportunity in the NFL. And if folks forgotten, Adrian did go. He worked out with the Lions last year. He played in the preseason before getting cut. I'm curious, after that happened, after you left Detroit, was there a part of you that had started to close the book on your playing career, or was the UFL something that was kind of in the back of your head from the beginning as you were looking for that alternate path to get back to the league?
Yeah, well, when I did draft prep leading up to my eventual signing with the Lions for the preseason, I had actually gotten drafted by the USFL team, the New Jersey General. And so I kind of knew in the back of my head that I was always a backup option because, I love ball, and I truly believe that I could play at that level, and getting another opportunity is all I needed to try and prove that. And yeah, I mean, honestly, that thought hadn't crept into my mind. With that being said, I still felt like this opportunity was something that maybe it is the last time I'm playing football. In a sense, some guys, this is their way of going out on their own terms, And so for me, taking it for what it is, it was an opportunity to try and prove that I should be playing in the NFL.
Was there ever doubt, Adrian, that this was something that you could keep doing at this high of a level, or did you just have that belief in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I would say everyone has doubts, but for me personally, I really stayed true to that belief that, hey, I know the type of player that I am, the type of player that I can be, and I'm going to continue to work to get better. I'd be lying to you if I said I was as good a quarterback as I am right now, or a year ago. I'm a much better player now, and the only way to do that is through practice and through games and reps and all these different things. And so I feel like I'm at my best and I have the best product to offer right now. And so I needed some more reps, some more games, some more tape to put out there.
Adrian Martinez, Birmingham Stallions this weekend against St. Louis. It's on Big Fox, 3:00. Adrian, quarterback, and 6-0, off to the best start in the league. I'm curious, Adrian, when you were going through the experience with Detroit, did you learn something about yourself there that maybe you didn't realize before about your play?
It's hard to say. I'd say I learned a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say about myself, but I learned a lot about the game, about how professionals operate, and then honestly how complicated the NFL system can be. They in Detroit, Ben Johnson, and it was Jared's third year in the offense, Jared Goff, and so it was really at its peak. And the last thing they're going to do is, hey, we know we just signed you as an undrafted free agent, so we're going to dumb the offense down just a little bit so you can no, they're giving the whole thing to you and making sure that you can go do it on the field. And I think it gave me an even greater appreciation for the mental aspect of the game, especially at the NFL level, and how high you have to operate.
So taking it now to Birmingham, what was it? I mean, kind of learning through the fire hose in Detroit. What's it been like in Birmingham? Obviously, you've taken to it well, but was it a little bit different, or was it kind of the same thing you experienced with the Lions?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit different, but I definitely took some of those lessons over just in terms of this is how I want to conduct myself on an everyday basis. Obviously being about business, being a professional, making sure that I'm preparing the right way, and doing it at that NFL type level, because that's where I want to be. In terms of the offense that we run, I think Skip Holtz, he's done a great job. We run essentially a spread offense, and we have a lot of talented guys on the team, and it's been nice. We communicate on a weekly basis to see what's good, what isn't, and I think he's very good about putting his players in the right situations to make plays.
Adrian, I'm wondering about the camaraderie with the group. Like, going back to the beginning of the interview, you talk about, some of your goals, but also trying not to look forward too much and trying to live in the moment. I imagine that some of your teammates are operating in that exact same way, and there are probably others who are really just thinking about that next step. What has that been like playing in this league, given, just kind of where it sits in the landscape of football in America and kind of people's goals that they have?
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations coming into this experience in the UFL. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I've loved it. I've loved every bit of it, because everyone's here for a reason. Everyone has stories. Everyone's been in the NFL in some sort of capacity. So it's interesting to see. I mean, we have first-round picks. We have guys who are undrafted, small school guys. I mean, guys from everywhere, and to see everyone's path come together. And then for us, we really have a shared goal of obviously wanting to win, wanting to go 1-0 every week, but also wanting to reach the next level. So it's kind of that nice mix of, hey, we don't know how long we have this. We can't take this for granted, but also we're working towards something. So everyone's hungry on the team. Everyone's also enjoying playing the game.
Adrian Martinez joining us on the 42 Degrees of the Source hotline. What has Skip Holtz been like to work with as a coach?
He's been great. I really can't say enough about him. He's just very consistent, and he's a great communicator, and I really like playing in his offense, and he's seen a lot of ball. I mean, obviously he's the son of Lou Holtz, the coaching legend, and I mean, Skip's been everywhere from Notre Dame to South Carolina to Louisiana Tech. I mean, coached a lot of quarterbacks, seen a lot of ball, and so he knows what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like, and I definitely feel like I've gotten better playing under him.
Adrian, this might be an odd question, but, just given the time of year that you have played football in throughout your life, has it been odd, or has your body adjusted at all to playing in a spring league versus the traditional fall league? I just imagine that normally your body's like, whoa, I'm not supposed to be getting these kind of hits right now. That's something that we do in September and October.
Yeah, well, this fall was my first time not playing football in, I've been a part of a team since I was 6 or 7 years old.
Sure.
So I think that my body was more freaked out by than playing football in the spring. So it's been good. I really haven't had to make too much of an adjustment, and it's a 10-week season. I think the UFL does a good job of giving us the right resources to make sure that we're taken care of.
Well, along those lines then, Adrian, not to look too much into the future, but the season will end in June, and then we know that camps and everything, when those arrive, like what does a potential quote-unquote off-season look like for you, just given that that's a shorter amount of time than normal?
Yeah, well, I think you alluded to it. It's a long year of ball. It's a long year of football, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If I'm fortunate enough to get an opportunity, I would love to do it. But yeah, I'd essentially get a month off, and then I'd be right back into a training camp and then into a 20-week long football season. So
Adrian Martinez joining us. As you mentioned from the outset, you'd much rather lead the league in passing than lead the league in rushing. But we know that running is a part of your game, and it's a part of what makes you a special athlete. I'm curious, and take me through what your mindset is as you're quarterbacking Birmingham versus where you were at Nebraska, at Kansas State, especially at Nebraska, where we really had to rely on your legs. Has it been a degree of adjustment for you to get the run first or run heavy mindset out of your mind? And are there times where you're like, should I take off or should I really try to fit this pass in there? Just kind of take me through that mindset, because it's different than how we saw you play at times at Nebraska.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the keys is being decisive. If you're looking down the field, you're looking to throw the ball, you're working the pocket, we're doing that. If you feel like you got a lane and you can take off, take off. And really, it depends on what the defense is giving you. And obviously, as I've grown as a player and I've gotten more experience, I've gotten a better feel for exactly what that is. And again, I feel like our offense is pretty balanced, and it allows me to do both, but not feel the pressure of, a lot of carries and leading the team with rushing consistently. That's not necessarily what's being asked of me, which is nice. It's more of just another element to our offense.
Adrian, last time we chatted with you, we talked a little bit more about your Nebraska career and, some of the struggles, the ups and the downs, in terms of record. Obviously, you're with Kansas State as they have a really good year, but you're hurt throughout so much of that season as well. What's it been like to finally be on the field for a winning team again? I just have to imagine it just, I don't know, you breathing easier. It just has to feel pretty good after some of the struggles that you went through in your career.
Yeah, and that's part of what this opportunity's been for me, is really just enjoying playing football. And it is a bit of a breath of fresh air that I get to continue to play, and that I'm healthy and that we're winning and doing well. It's all been great. I've been very thankful for that. And hopefully this is just the beginning of where my career is going.
Does it almost feel like you're reborn again because you're winning? You're playing well, you're healthy, and not that there isn't pressure, but it doesn't feel like maybe the weight of the world is on your shoulders, or is that the wrong way to put it?
I wouldn't say reborn, just because I feel like, there are a lot of trials and tribulations and things that it just combined to this moment. And so I feel like I've been that guy, I've been that player, and then I'm starting to just uncover more of my potential. You know what I mean? It's not anything that I didn't expect to happen. And really we're not there yet, and it goes back to me saying, I don't want to reflect right now in this moment. I feel like there's a lot to be accomplished, and I'm far from complacent with where we are as a team and with where I am as a player.
Well, friends, he's playing this weekend, Saturday afternoon, 3:00 on Fox. And it's against St. Louis, who's been the most popular team in the league. I mean, they get the most local fan support, but you get them at home. And Adrian, best wishes on continuing this great success. And hopefully it does turn not only into more wins and a championship for you this year, but that you are able to cash in this dream and continue moving on, because the way you're playing right now, I can't see why a team in the NFL won't take another hard look at you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Adrian
Martinez from Birmingham, as the Stallions get ready for the Battlehawks. Almost said Nighthawks. Battlehawks.
Pretty cool.
This weekend.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. We talked about it
awesome.
earlier this week. Talked about with him. Super cool. And just given, especially, look, in big time college football, you're going to have players that are thinking more about their personal performances versus team success, because they're looking to get to the next level. But especially at a level like this, where purgatory is a weird word to use, so I don't want to use it for this exact situation, but it is that middle ground, right, of big time college football, which he was a part of, played at power programs, Nebraska and Kansas State, the NFL, the ultimate dream, the ultimate level of football that we have in the entire world. Well, this is professional, so it's in theory above college football, but below the NFL, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, team success versus individual success, what that is like, it's fascinating. And obviously he's really taken advantage of what he's been able to do. And, he was on that roster, the Lions roster, pretty late, right into the cut situation. So, playing this way, get through the rest of the year healthy, and see what can happen by the time that it's summertime.
By the way, the TV numbers have been really good. It's better than what it was when the leagues were separated, when you had the XFL and the USFL. The Birmingham game had 956,000 viewers. The San Antonio, D.C. game averaged 1.2. The combined average audience is an 81% bump. Wow. Over last year's Week 6 audiences in either the XFL or the USFL.
It definitely, I noticed more of a blitz of commercials this year than in previous years.
They're getting cross promotion all the time in any sport that Fox or ESPN or ABC televised.
Yeah, there were. I mean, especially I was watching. At the end of the women's basketball season, was watching a lot of their tournament. A lot of the just basketball season in general, Big East and Big Ten basketball, and you would see those commercials a ton.
Mm-hmm.
You would see them a ton, and I'm still watching basketball on ESPN, the NBA, as their playoffs roll on, and we're seeing more of the same there.